There is an undeniable urgency woven into the fabric of this message, a call that emphasizes the critical importance of acting immediately rather than delaying or procrastinating. The central idea here is that waiting until tomorrow, or any later, time, is simply not an option. The subtle yet significant shifts that are unfolding right now are ephemeral, and if you choose to postpone your response, you risk missing these cues entirely. The message paints a vivid picture of a moment in time where the world is quietly transitioning, shifting in ways that may not be immediately apparent until they have fully passed. It urges you to understand that the passage of time is relentless, and with every tick of the clock, that current moment, filled with potential insights and transformative energy, dissipates into memory, never to be reclaimed. In essence, this is a wake-up call, a reminder that the present holds unique opportunities and hidden signals that require your immediate attention and reflection. Imagine that each moment is like a delicate, intricate ripple on a vast surface. If you wait too long to acknowledge and act upon the small disturbances, the ripples will fade, and the chance to harness their energy will be lost. This metaphor serves as a powerful reminder that the world does not pause for us to catch up, and life's natural flow of change demands that we be proactive. The message underscores that every minor fluctuation, the subtle shifts in the dynamics of your relationships, the undercurrents of change in your personal or professional life, and the quiet hints from your inner self, carries significant meaning. These shifts, although not always dramatic or instantly apparent, are crucial markers of evolving circumstances and opportunities for growth. Delaying your response or waiting passively for a moment that never comes means you might find yourself out of step with the rapid changes occurring around you. The emphasis is on immediacy. By choosing to act in the present, you position yourself to navigate the evolving landscape with a sense of purpose and awareness, rather than being overwhelmed by its changes after they have already taken hold. It is a call to be vigilant, to listen intently to the quiet signals, and to seize the moment before it slips away into the past. Ultimately, this urgency is not about creating panic or haste. Rather, it is about gently nudging you into a state of heightened awareness where you can recognize that the time to act is now, ensuring that you are aligned with the subtle, yet powerful shifts shaping your life, and thereby paving the way for a future that reflects your true potential. This week is far from ordinary. It is a time steeped in subtle signals and quiet transformation that beckons you to look beyond the surface. Amid the hustle and bustle of everyday life, there exists an undercurrent of change that, although it may seem almost imperceptible at first, carries with it the promise of significant inner growth and external shifts. It is not marked by dramatic announcements or overt signs, but by the gentle nudges and emotional cues that whisper of deeper transformations taking place beneath the surface. These signals may reveal themselves in the form of fleeting moments, of clarity, a persistent feeling of anticipation, or even an inexplicable sense that something fundamental is shifting within you. They are the universe's subtle way of inviting you to pay closer attention to the rhythms of your life, and the small details that, when noticed, can lead to profound insights. The week unfolds like a quiet symphony, each note a delicate reminder that change is constant and often begins with an almost silent call for awareness. As you navigate through your days, you might notice a soft, underlying energy that contrasts sharply with the loud, often overwhelming pace of the outer world. This energy could be felt in the way familiar routines begin to lose their luster, or in the imperceptible yet persistent tug at your heart, a longing for something different, something more aligned with your true self. Such subtle cues are not coincidental. They are intentional signs that encourage you to pause, reflect, and perhaps even reevaluate parts of your life that no longer resonate with who you are becoming. In recognizing these quiet transformations, you open the door to a more authentic and intentional way of living. It is as if the world is gently rearranging its pieces, silently inviting you to step off autopilot and engage in a conscious dialogue with your inner being. This week holds the potential for deep personal evolution. If you are willing to listen and respond to the subtleties around you, it calls on you to embrace the idea that, while the changes might not roar into existence with great fanfare, their impact can be as powerful and enduring as any major upheaval. By attuning yourself to these soft yet persistent signals, you begin to understand that transformation doesn't always announce itself in grand gestures. It often comes quietly, urging you to awaken to the beautiful possibility of change that has been unfolding all along. The symbolism of the full moon reaches far beyond its brilliant display in the night sky. It is a powerful metaphor for emotional distancing and the essential art of letting go. As the full moon ascends to its peak, it radiates an intense glow that illuminates everything beneath it, much like our most passionate or vivid emotional states, drawing our focus with its magnetic pull. Yet, just as dramatically as it arrives, it begins to retreat toward its apogee, that farthest point from Earth, transforming from an emblem of radiant fullness into a quieter, more distant presence. This celestial movement is not merely an astronomical sequence. It mirrors the natural cycles of our inner lives, where moments of intense connection or fervor must eventually yield to phases of introspection and detachment. In its rapid withdrawal, the moon teaches us that the intensity of our feelings and attachments, though sometimes necessary, is transient. They are not permanent fixtures, but rather dynamic states that evolve over time. The journey from dazzling visibility to gentle retreat serves as a reminder that emotional closeness, just like celestial alignment, is subject to natural rhythms, sometimes drawing us together, and at other times urging us to step back, create space, and reassess what truly serves our growth. When the moon pulls away, it creates a natural pause, a reflective moment in which we are invited to consider what we have held on to that no longer nourishes us. This retreat symbolizes a period when we must evaluate our relationships, habits, and beliefs, releasing those that have outlived their role in our present journey. As we witness the celestial cycle, we are encouraged to mirror this process in our own lives, allowing ourselves to experience the pain of separation and the bittersweet clarity of letting go, ultimately making room for new possibilities and more authentic expressions of our inner selves. The full moon's oscillation between presence and distance encapsulates a universal truth, that every luminous phase carries within it the seed of its own transformation, and every act of holding on eventually reaches a point where release becomes essential for renewal. Embracing this cosmic metaphor, we learn to accept that change, like the phases of the moon, is both natural and necessary, a gentle yet profound reminder that sometimes the key to emotional balance lies in our ability to let go and trust in the cycles of life. The call to release old attachments emerges as a profound invitation, symbolized by the dynamic behavior of the moon as it shifts from brilliant fullness to a gentle retreat, questioning what remains held onto that no longer serves you. As you witness this celestial cycle, you are prompted to turn your gaze inward and consider whether you are clinging to outdated habits, draining relationships, or limiting beliefs that hinder your personal growth and evolution. This natural phenomenon acts as a mirror, reflecting back to you the parts of your life that have become stagnant or burdensome, urging you to confront the possibility that what once provided comfort may now be obstructing your ability to embrace new, transformative opportunities. The moon's compelling movement reminds you that attachment, no matter how familiar, can weigh you down and prevent the unfolding of your true potential. When its radiant light gives way to a quieter phase, it signals that the time has come to assess the value of your connections and the beliefs you hold, encouraging you to let go of what is no longer nourishing your journey. In this process, the act of releasing is not one of loss, but rather of making space for renewal and growth, freeing yourself from emotional clutter so that you might better align with your evolving needs and aspirations. It asks you to examine the relationships that no longer foster mutual support or creative exchange, to question the habits that have become mere routines without purpose, and to challenge the beliefs that stifle your ability to adapt and thrive. This inquiry is both gentle and transformative, inviting you to experience the liberation that comes from shedding the weight of the past. In letting go, you are not negating your history. Instead, you honor it by recognizing that every chapter has its time, and that clinging to what has served you before may impede the emergence of a richer, more vibrant self. As you embrace this process, you begin to understand that growth often requires a delicate balance between holding on to cherished memories and daring to release them for the promise of what lies ahead. The cosmic rhythm of the moon thus becomes a powerful metaphor, guiding you to discern which attachments nurture your spirit and which have become barriers to your fullest expression, ultimately urging you to step forward into the light of new possibilities and authentic transformation. When you encounter unexpected feelings of tiredness, disconnection, or confusion, it is important to recognize that these sensations are not indicators of failure, but rather the natural friction that arises during periods of personal growth and transformation. Consider these experiences as the internal resistance that occurs when different parts of you begin to evolve at varying speeds, where your mind might be ready for change even as your body or emotions are still holding on to the familiar. This friction is like the subtle yet necessary grinding of gears, ensuring that all components of your being are adjusted and aligned with your evolving self. It's a process of recalibration that, while uncomfortable, signals a transition from a previous state toward one that is more authentic and better suited to your current aspirations. In this light, the fatigue and disconnection you feel are not shortcomings but reflective markers, revealing that an inner reorganization is underway. They speak to the reality that growth is rarely a smooth, linear progression. It often involves a dissonance, a temporary imbalance that, when embraced, can lead to deeper self-awareness and enhanced resilience. This friction invites you to pause, listen to your inner voice, and acknowledge that the changes you are experiencing are the result of a dynamic interplay between your past and your emerging future. It encourages you to question what aspects of your life are no longer in sync with your inner truth, prompting a gradual release of outdated beliefs, habits, or relationships that no longer serve your development. In doing so, you begin to clear the emotional and mental clutter that holds you back, paving the way for new opportunities and insights to manifest. Rather than viewing these feelings as failures or setbacks, consider them as necessary signals urging you to reflect on the pace at which you are growing, and to ensure that the various facets of your identity are converging in a way that fosters genuine progress. Every moment of discomfort carries with it the promise of a breakthrough, a chance to learn more about yourself and to uncover hidden strengths that might otherwise remain dormant. By reframing the friction as a sign of internal rebalancing, you shift your perspective from one of resistance to one of acceptance and curiosity, allowing you to navigate this transitional phase with grace and intentionality. In embracing the natural tension of growth, you ultimately create a richer, more integrated foundation on which to build the next chapter of your life. Reflecting on your life choices is an invitation to pause and assess whether the daily habits, relationships, and routines you maintain genuinely align with the life you truly desire to lead. This process challenges you to take an honest look at your current way of living, asking whether you are on a path that nourishes your deepest values and long-term goals, or if you have inadvertently clung to outdated versions of yourself that no longer serve your growth. It is not uncommon for individuals to find that, over time, the beliefs, roles, and behaviors that once defined them have gradually become relics of a past identity. Comforting, perhaps, in their familiarity, yet ultimately stifling to the evolution of your true self. In this reflective space, you are encouraged to question what might be holding you back, and to consider whether the routines and choices you make every day are genuinely representative of who you are and who you aspire to be. This inquiry often reveals subtle misalignments between your current life practices and the person you wish to become, prompting a thoughtful reevaluation of every facet of your existence, from your professional engagements and personal relationships to your inner narrative about what is possible for you. As you engage deeply in this process, you might uncover that certain decisions, once celebrated or accepted as inevitable, are now barriers to your progress, a signal that it might be time to release the old and embrace the new. The journey of self-reflection is inherently transformative. By revisiting and revising your life choices, you create space for a more authentic expression of your identity and potential. This reflective practice does not call for abrupt, radical changes all at once, but for a gradual, mindful reorientation, a series of small, deliberate steps that ultimately redirect your life toward greater fulfillment and purpose. In re-examining your choices, you may notice that many of your actions are reactions to external expectations rather than expressions of inner truth, urging you to shift from living a life dictated by past scripts to one that is actively designed from within. Through a sustained commitment to this introspective journey, you cultivate a heightened awareness of the choices available to you, recognize the value of letting go of what no longer fits, and begin the process of rewriting your story according to the contours of your evolving desires and aspirations. Letting go to make room for new possibilities is much like a tree shedding its old, tired leaves in preparation for vibrant new growth, a natural and necessary process for maintaining overall health and fostering transformation. As the seasons change, a tree releases the leaves that no longer serve it, demonstrating that sometimes holding on to what is familiar can actually inhibit your ability to flourish. In our own lives, we often accumulate habits, relationships, and beliefs that once supported us but now hinder the evolution of our true selves. These elements may have offered comfort and a sense of security in the past. However, clinging to them can prevent the emergence of fresh ideas, energy, and opportunities that align with our current aspirations. Just like the tree that must let go of its old foliage in order to provide space for new branches and leaves to grow, You too must periodically reflect on what no longer fits with who you are becoming, even if it feels difficult or unsettling. At first, this act of releasing is not about erasing your history or dismissing the lessons learned along the way. It is, instead, a conscious choice to create the room necessary for rejuvenation and growth. By letting go of outdated aspects of your identity, you are making a proactive decision to clear away the clutter that weighs you down, enabling you to step forward into a future that reflects your true, evolving nature. In doing so, you cultivate a mindset of renewal and possibility, understanding that personal transformation is a cyclical process that requires both the courage to hold on when necessary and the wisdom to release when the time is right. Embracing this process can lead to a greater sense of freedom as you learn to identify and discard those patterns or attachments that no longer contribute to your overall well-being. This mindful process of letting go is an essential element of personal growth, as it allows you to refine your focus, adjust to new circumstances, and ultimately discover new avenues for fulfillment and authentic self-expression. Much like the effortlessly tree that continues to thrive only by continuously renewing its parts, you, too, can find vitality by permitting yourself to move beyond what has served you in the past. It is in these moments of release that real transformation happens, a process where the old is acknowledged and respectfully set aside to give space for the new to emerge, thus paving the way for a more dynamic, aligned, and flourishing future. Trusting the process and embracing the unknown is an invitation to let go of our desperate need for control and instead yield to the natural unfolding of life. In our quest to shape our destiny, we often get caught in a web of resistance, attempting to direct every outcome and forestall uncertainty. Yet, by surrendering to the organic flow of events and trusting that each moment is part of a larger tapestry of growth, we open ourselves to a richer, more expansive experience of life. This acceptance is not about passive resignation. Rather, it is about actively engaging with life's ebb and flow, knowing that the very uncertainties we fear carry within them the seeds of our greatest potential. It means understanding that every unexpected twist, every uncharted path, is not a sign of failure or chaos, but an invitation to learn, adapt, and evolve. When you allow yourself to trust in the unfolding process, you recognize that life operates on its own timeline, a timeline that is not always visible or understandable in the moment. This trust shifts your focus from trying to force outcomes to becoming attuned to the subtle signals that guide you toward authentic alignment with your inner self. By embracing the unknown, you begin to see uncertainty not as a void to be feared, but as a dynamic field of possibilities teeming with opportunities for transformation. In this state of surrender, you are no longer hindered by the need to predict every detail. Instead, you cultivate the resilience and wisdom needed to navigate the unpredictable terrain of life with grace. This acceptance becomes the gateway to reaching your full potential, as it clears the mental and emotional clutter that arises from constant resistance. When you surrender to the natural course of life, you create space for creativity, spontaneity, and deeper personal insights to emerge, qualities that can propel you into new areas of growth. Trusting the process encourages you to lean into moments of vulnerability, recognizing them as powerful opportunities to reconnect with your authentic self and to set aside ingrained patterns and limiting beliefs. Over time, This practice of trust and acceptance not only transforms your relationship with the present, but also reshapes your future, allowing you to step confidently into uncharted territories. In essence, embracing the unknown and trusting. The process means living with the conviction that life is unfolding exactly as it should, even when the path ahead is veiled in mystery. It is a profound act of self-belief and surrender that invites you to follow where your heart leads, assured that each step, each detour, and each surprise is guiding you toward becoming the fullest, most vibrant version of yourself. This call to intentional action is an invitation to take control of your journey by consciously choosing to release the elements that drain your energy and hinder your true growth, while simultaneously embracing the emerging, authentic version of yourself. It is a reminder that every moment presents an opportunity to assess what in your life no longer serves you, whether that is an unfulfilling habit, a toxic relationship, or deeply ingrained beliefs that hold you back. By acknowledging these aspects and allowing them to fade away, you create the space necessary to cultivate a life that resonates with your innermost desires and values. Rather than waiting passively for change to occur, this approach encourages you to actively engage in practices that support your evolution, such as daily reflection, mindfulness, and deliberate decision-making. Each small, mindful action, no matter how minor it may seem at first, is a building block of lasting transformation, an investment in your future self that gradually accumulates into significant, enduring change. Over time, as you persist in making these small adjustments, you begin to notice a shift in your energy and perspective, where the cumulative effect of intentional decisions steadily reshapes your reality into one that is more vibrant, balanced, and aligned with your true purpose. This process is not about instant gratification or dramatic overhauls, but about the consistent and thoughtful application of energy towards what truly matters. The act of letting go is liberating, as it frees you from the heavy weight of old patterns and opens the door to new possibilities that were previously obscured by clutter and confusion. Furthermore, this journey is deeply personal and reflective. It invites you to constantly question and refine your actions, ensuring that every step you take contributes to the authentic expression of who you are becoming. In this way, intentional action is a dynamic and ongoing process, where every choice is a seed planted for a better, more fulfilling future. The transformation that results is gradual but profound, proving that when you align your daily actions with your higher aspirations, even the smallest shifts can lead to a revolution in your way of living. Ultimately, by embracing this call to action, you empower yourself to live more mindfully, purposefully, and joyfully, fully aware that lasting change starts with the decisions you make today. Community and shared transformation play a vital role in the journey of personal growth, reminding you that you are not walking this path alone. While inner work is often solitary, this message highlights the profound impact that collective experience and mutual support can have during times of significant change. As you navigate emotional upheavals, release old attachments, and strive toward a more authentic version of yourself, the presence of like-minded individuals can offer both comfort and inspiration. Sharing your experiences, your fears, breakthroughs, and even your moments of uncertainty can create powerful bonds that not only validate your own path, but also empower others to continue on theirs. There's a deep sense of connection that arises when we recognize that others are going through similar transformations, It shifts the narrative from isolation to solidarity, from struggle to shared evolution. These interactions can take many forms, whether through intimate conversations, participation in healing circles, online communities, or collaborative creative spaces. Each encounter becomes a mirror, reflecting both your progress and your potential, while reminding you of the universal nature of growth and renewal. In moments when the weight of change feels overwhelming, a supportive community acts as a grounding force, offering perspective, empathy, and encouragement. More than just emotional backup, engaging with others also sparks new insights and revelations. Often, someone else's story will resonate in a way that unlocks something hidden within yourself. This collective energy amplifies the transformative process, making it more dynamic and less daunting. It fosters a sense of belonging, reinforcing the idea that transformation is not just a personal endeavor, but a shared awakening that ripples outward and uplifts the entire group. Moreover, as you support others in their journey, you also deepen your own self-awareness and healing. Giving and receiving become intertwined in a continuous exchange of growth. In this shared space, vulnerability becomes a strength, and authenticity becomes a common language. The more you engage with this communal energy, the more you realize that transformation is not linear or solitary. It's a tapestry woven from individual stories and shared wisdom. Ultimately, this message calls for a redefinition of strength, not as going it alone, but as reaching out, opening up, and walking forward together. Through community, the journey becomes more meaningful, more sustainable, and infinitely more powerful. The present moment holds extraordinary power, far more than it often appears to on the surface. At its core, the message invites you to recognize that now, not tomorrow or some far-off time, is the most pivotal point in your journey. This moment is not simply a pause between past and future. It is a living, breathing opportunity to initiate real and lasting transformation. By becoming fully present, you step into a state of conscious awareness, where choices gain clarity, intentions sharpen, and actions take on greater meaning. There is a subtle yet profound energy that lives in the now, urging you to act, to shift, and to embrace the flow of your evolution. It's a reminder that waiting for the perfect circumstances or clearer signs only delays the growth that is already calling to you. The truth is, the future you long for, one where you feel aligned, fulfilled, and fully yourself, can only be reached by engaging with the present moment intentionally. Trusting the process means leaning into the unknown with faith rather than fear, allowing yourself to be shaped by experience without clinging to outdated identities or expectations. This present moment is a gateway, one that opens when you dare to meet it with both humility and courage. Every small decision made now, every truth acknowledged, and every piece of resistance released becomes a step toward a more authentic existence. It's easy to underestimate the cumulative power of seemingly minor choices, but it is often those quiet shifts in mindset or subtle acts of bravery that initiate the most profound changes. The energy of now is not passive. It's electric with possibility, vibrating with the potential to rewrite your story from the inside out. By embracing this invitation to be fully here, fully engaged, and fully willing to trust the unfolding, you claim your power as the author of your own transformation. The past may have informed who you are, and the future may inspire who you want to be. But only the present holds the tools to build that bridge. When you honor the now, you also honor your potential, not as a distant dream, but as a reality, being shaped moment by moment. In this light, the present becomes sacred, not because it's perfect, but because it is alive with the chance to become something more. Your future self is waiting, but it's your present self that holds the key.